I hope you're having a great day. Cause look, I'm not. Let's just call it what it is, right? Broly's not bad, right? They definitely made him a lot better. Obviously, we're not going to know exactly how he performs, until we get the actual. Let me pull up the YouTube guy. I gotta plug myself eventually. You know what I'm saying? But look, I'm not. I'm not extremely disappointed because again, like we need to see the showcase for me to give like my actual, definitive. Like the Super Saiyan trio, for example, did not look that great upon like in paper, but they're actually performing a lot better than expected. So it's possible that we are just not capable of understanding Broly's power, and that is understandable, right? It's just the one thing I have issue with is that this part of his passive is restricted. A Goku restriction is insane. Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans did jump up to Pure Saiyan, Hybrid Saiyans, and Movie Heroes, which is definitely a lot of the game. But I still feel like that's too restrictive. I do. That's just how I feel. This being base kit is insane, right? This is not going to win you any fight. Base kit, and because he does so much, that's just the reality of his kit. I get why his base kit isn't that great, but there's still improvements that you can make to the base kit and that does not overbalance this character. And I'm going to show you. This is what I did. All right, for Broly. This is the thing that I did for Broly. Okay, and you can just let me know what you think. Okay. So, this is my concept for Broly. First, he greatly stacks attack and defense. It's very, very simple, okay? Now, you can pause and read if you want. I'm going to explain why I built him this way, and then you can just let me know what you think, okay? So, first, I gave him 3 key and 218% to stats. Yes, I lowered it from 260. Keep in mind that because he now is greatly stacking defense, I wanted to balance it out just a little bit, of course, making sure he doesn't start off with too much, because I think if I left it at 260 with greatly stacking defense and the other improvements I wanted to make, he would have been a little bit too good. So I lowered it by a little bit, not too much, honestly, but it's still lower, right, just to kind of balance that out just a little bit. Guards all attacks and performs an additional super attack for 1 turn from first appearance. This only serves one purpose, okay? Broly, after his EZA, granted, let's say you're not facing a Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, Movie Heroes, or a Goku by any means or stretch of the imagination. This character sucks. It's just there's no guard, no way. Only having a high chance to launch additional super is just not great. It's not it. So if you hop into a turn and you perform your super attack and you don't even get this off, all you have is 26% damage reduction, 1 stack of this, 26% of stats on top. Like it's not looking good, right? So the point of this here is to give him 1 turn of where his defense at least is a little bit more respectable with guard, and guaranteed additional super from first turn from first appearance. This allows you to make sure not only are you guarding, but you can get at least 2 instances of this off, which is going to make you look really good by turn 3 or by his 3rd turn or 3rd thing of appearance. And just to balance it out, I did launch an additional super attack, or sorry, additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack starting from the next appearance. Now, the wording isn't great, but what you need to understand is that the concept is when he first appears, he has that guaranteed additional super. From his next appearance, that high chance of super will carry on from there on out, right? If I stack the high chance on top of the guaranteed additional, I think that would have been too strong, right? So I tried to keep that in mind. I also increased his damage reduction and chance to crit from 26 to 36% for both. I really don't think that's a lot to ask. I was going to say, this should have been 50, but because his kit is the way it is, and I can't realistically change all of it, right? If you are facing a Goku, if this was 50% and you kept this the same at 18%, and then kept this at, it would have been, the damage reduction would have been way too high. Damage reduction would have been way too high. So I understand that. So that's why I went with 36% damage reduction and 36% chance to crit. Launches additional super attack that has a high chance of becoming a super starting from the next appearance. Extreme class allies 1 key and 26% to stats, plus an additional key plus 1 and attack and defense plus 18% when attacking in the second or third slot. So this guy, if he's in the second slot, he's built to be a second slot character. Anyways, he's going to be supporting the LR Tech Broly, which is what I want from this character. Some sort of support. You know, there's a reason why I really want him in the second slot. Not only to stack, of course, but at least for him to, like, this is what, 44%. It's 2 key and 44% to support for the first and third slot, which of course is really good for a character like this Broly, who isn't really supposed to be like a mainstay support, but who's offering value other than just this, right? And so look at this, right? Already, this is his base kit. Compare that to this base kit. We don't have to talk, obviously this is just way better, right? This is just way better, and it doesn't break the character. The support here doesn't break the character. I maybe could have included, you know, excluding self for this last line of support, but it's like, this doesn't break the character. By any means of the imagination, does not break the character at all. Everything else here is pretty much the same. The only thing I changed was adding Kamehameha to the first restriction or restricted part of the category, and then I bumped the 18%, and yeah, these two percentages were 15, I bumped them up to 18. So basically it's 30, if you can get this off as well as this off, right? If you basically are facing a Goku, a Movie Heroes Goku family, a Movie Heroes Goku, a Pure Saiyans Goku, a Kamehameha Goku, you're gonna have 36% chance to crit and 36% damage reduction on top of the base damage reduction. So you're basically at 72% chance to crit and 72 chance per 72% damage reduction, which of course with all the stacking can get very, very, very out of hand, and I get that. That's why I kind of lowered this. And I think that by turn 7, 8, 9, 10, I mean, this Broly is obviously going to be absolutely insane, but we've seen crazier numbers from crazier units in the game, and I feel like if you're going to make a character that's super restrictive, they deserve to be super OP when they are, and they meet all of those restrictions. I don't think that's a crazy thing to ask. I think it would have been a lot easier to take off these restrictions. Maybe just super class would have been fine, you know? Or when the entire team has or is planetary destruction, Pure Saiyans, movie bosses, any other category you want to add on to there. But if you're going to make a character super restrictive, when they meet all of those restrictions, they should be very, very strong. On top of that, the reason why I added Kamehameha here is because Kamehameha makes his, you know, passive a lot stronger without making it too OP. So right, again, it's Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, and Movie Heroes. That covers a lot of characters in the game. But Kamehameha slightly introduces just a few more characters that just makes them viable overall, right? So we have options like some Earthlings here, right? So Earthlings like, where is my goat? I want to talk about a specific unit in the game. So look, Master Roshi, right? As an example, you have now Earthlings on this category. You now have some fusions on this category, right? So obviously, Vegito here, Tech Vegito, isn't on Movie Heroes. He isn't on Pure Saiyans, and he isn't on Hybrid Saiyans. But there's definitely a lot of fusion bosses in the game, right? So now you're going to be able to be covered by, you're going to also include, Earthlings. You're now also going to be able to include fusions on this category, which I think deserve to be here because, again, Pure Saiyans, they should be Pure Saiyans. Again, it is what it is. And on top of that, you now actually have some popular bosses in the game that could fit under the category. So you have Cell, you have Goku Black, you have Boo, and yes, those aren't the craziest bosses of all time, but it's not crazy to say that we don't have any bosses in the game that aren't, you know, Boo or Cell or anything, or Goku Black, right? So now when there's, let's say, like this Broly doesn't now have to be someone you have to run in the super class stage, because let's say there is a new Cell boss, right? Or a new Boo boss, or a new Goku Black boss. Even though that's an extreme class enemy, you're still able to get this extra 18% damage reduction and 80% chance to crit, and the chance to launching an additional super attack. So it makes them a little bit more viable. If I were to include like a different category, I think that would have been just too much at this point. I think just adding a few extreme class characters on that restriction, as well as slightly increasing the pool of superclass characters with like Earthlings and fusions, makes it a lot easier overall to see that character's second part of that passive. So let me know what you think, man. I don't know. I mean, I wanted to include, you know, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan on this part here, but it's like, I get why it's Goku, so I get it. But this is what I would have done for his kit if I was in charge. Maybe it is a little too strong, but even here, dude, it's like, after this guy is easier with 260%, yes, his defense isn't being stacked greatly, but I mean, if you are facing a Goku, you're launching your own attack, you're guaranteed launching another one, you have a great chance of launching another one, and then you have a high chance of launching another one, and then, you know, so it's like, with RNG, you're going to be OP anyways. With, what, 26 plus 18 is what? 36, again, that's 40, is that 44? Wait, no, that, yeah, it is 44, perfect. And then 44 top was like 60, oh, it's actually 15, so it's 59% damage reduction, huh? Okay. Yeah, 59% damage reduction. Like, he's going to be, I think, okay. I think he's slightly undertuned here. Like, even that, like, honestly, like, you change this to 18, you change this to 18, you change this to 36, this to 36, and this to 36. And I think he's slightly better. I don't like how he's not greatly stacking defense. Like, that just bothers me. I don't know, man. Maybe he is too strong here. But would that have killed the game? No. Is it when we lost as needed? Absolutely. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Merry Christmas and good night.